gotten onto it, and I'm also picking up that he may be visiting Karur as well. The thing is that basically what is supposed to be on the ground it wasn't there at all. I mean, you're supposed to arrive at a particular time, you're delayed. By then, the crowds are surging. Then the crowds are surging towards you, and then it's chaos. The police are unable to intervene because they can't meander through the crowds. The ambulances can't get on time. Where was first aid? I want to ask. Where was people who could have at least, rescued little children and immediately put them in the ambulances and taken them? Yes, you need pediatric doctor, you need post-trauma doctors, but then the first help is on the ground, and that was missing. I mean, Vijay should understand, and I do not know why, and I think, Shweta, one very important point is, as an actor, he's used to everything being given to him. Bouncers, security at an event. You know and I know that how these events are done. But political rally is a different beast, and it's a very dangerous beast. It can really kind of grow to a Frankenstein, and that's what happened. I mean, the dereliction of duty on the ground is the first reason, and then there is a cascading or a domino effect. Shweta?
Absolutely. That cascading effect, like falling like a pack of cards there. 40 people are dead at the moment. We're given to understand more than 40 people are currently in hospital. They're injured. Many people could be in private hospital as well. This is the number coming in from Karur government, the state government hospital. So we don't know the total number of people who are admitted at this point. It's going to be a long, long night. And a very pertinent point that you brought out there, as a person who was in theatre, perhaps somebody who enjoyed status of a big personality by virtue of acting, he was perhaps used to of being served, being organized, but that's not the case when it comes to political rally, is it, Satya Prakash? When it comes to political rallies, the ball game is different. It changes entirely, and the blame squarely lies in your court every time you're not able to manage a crowd.
See, Swetaji, not the time to play politics. I don't agree with what Kovai Satyan said earlier that, blaming the government. Government or the district administration will get ready to whatever crowd the organizers say. For example, the organizers say in their application that, we are expecting 10,000 crowd. Then as per standard operating procedure, for 10,000, how many policemen are required, they will put. Regarding the medical facility and all, the organizers should get it ready. See, Karur is a small town. I also have little idea about Karur. Karur is a small town. I think, you will not find more than 8 or 10 ICU units also there, according to my thing, or maybe little more. This is a tragedy. If what Kovai Satyan is saying, more than another 40 people are there who want ICU, then definitely, it will be an issue. But blaming, the government or something is not, at this point of time, we can always do a postmortem. We can always see who are at fault. If the administration are at fault or the organizers are at fault, that we can see later. But right now,
this is perhaps where I disagree with you, sir, because every time an analysis is done ex facto, we know the government often gets away with it. Hold on, stay with us. More shots there on your screens right now. That's Vijay there on your screens. All right. Vijay there exits Karur hours after the rally chaos. He's currently being seen in Chennai. Latest visuals coming in of Vijay exiting a vehicle. He has moved out of Karur. He is going to be taking up a chartered flight from Chennai, is what we're given to understand. He's not spoken to the media. He's going to fly on a chartered jet to Chennai. He's moved out of Karur. He's exited Karur an hour after that rally chaos, and hours after that chaos resulted in 40 people dying. Satya Prakash, I do disagree, sir, because often when the time passes, and often in hindsight when we come to realization something better could have done, we see state governments get away with it. We see a judicial panel being formed, 15 to 20 days of deliberations, 2 to 3 months of extensive research, and post which I think the matter dies down. There is no accountability. There is no resignation. There is no moral responsibility. Nobody comes out and says this could have been done better.
See, then we will be doing huge injustice to that common man. 40 people have died. I don't agree with it. The government of the day should look into it. Who are the people responsible for this fiasco? If the organizers are responsible, then they have to be booked. There's no doubt in that. Every rally, they will give a permission letter. And according to what Kovai Satyan says, TVK has asked for 10,000. When you ask permission for 10,000, and according to reports, as your own correspondent said, more than 40,000 or nearly 1 lakh is what Kovai Satyan also said. If I was able to hear him properly, then it is clearly the organizers who are responsible. If you are telling 10,000, and if you know 3 times or 4 times or 5 times people come, it will be very difficult to manage crowd. And especially if the organizers would have said 40,000 people are coming, police would not have given permission in that ground. They would have asked them to go out of the city somewhere outside where there are a lot of exit points, so that this crowd of such magnitude can be controlled. So it exactly goes to what permission police have given. I don't know how many people TVK was expecting. If people more than expectation have come, how can you blame anyone? You tell me. We can only blame the organizers for that. Is all I can say at this point
But
of time.
we can learn in hindsight from the other rallies. And I think that's where we failed, at least with the TVK. There were other rallies conducted, several rallies, in fact, that Sudha was alluding to, where number of people who turned up were far greater. So if we are to learn from our past mistakes, this was the time to learn from our past mistakes.
Sudha also was saying that food and water didn't come at the right time, so people
Right.
were in anger. And Mr. TVK's president, whatever Vijay didn't come at the right time. Also, is what Sudhaji said. And I have no idea, what is happening there. But
Okay.
if those things are true, then the organizers are to be blamed for that. So when people will become restless when they are put in one place, for long hours of time,
Right.
and they are not given food, no water, there will be restlessness among people. That will lead to stampede. I think this is purely the result of a stampede. And the government, should after the postmortem is done, I think the standard operating procedure should be laid down strictly. People's lives are at stake, Swetaji. People's lives are at stake, and no
Right.
government, DMK being our ally, we will
People's
take this
lives have
seriously.
been lost,
And
Satyaprakash ji. They were at stake already. 40 people have died. So,
yeah.
come to think of it, more could have been done, better could have been done, and we're all wiser in hindsight. But let me also quickly get in Gautam. Gautam, Vijay, we are given to understand, has exited Karur. He's arrived at Tiruchi airport by road. He is going to be leaving Chennai by a chartered aircraft. He hasn't answered any questions, but he will have to answer a lot of questions. An FIR, you are saying, could be lodged, on him perhaps this evening, by tomorrow morning. He is in a lot of trouble. Gautam? Quickly get in Sudha back into this conversation. Sudha, as we were looking at the visuals of Vijay there leaving the Tiruchi airport, he arrived there by road just a couple of minutes ago. He is going to be leaving for Chennai by a chartered aircraft. Gautam is suggesting an FIR against him could likely be filed very soon. He is going to be answering a lot of questions, and that process is going to start very, very shortly now.
Well, it's very bad optics, I think, Shweta, honestly, because sure, I'm not apportioning blame that Vijay, Dalapati Vijay, as he's popularly known as, is to be blamed, but then to charter a plane where people have lost lives only because they came to touch and feel him and listen to him at his rally is terrible optics. And the entire purpose of him trying to be a politician and perhaps also, get into power is going to be sullied majorly by this. Satya was talking about it, about, how, this is organizers. It's absolutely the organizers' fault. I mean, look at it this way. Like I said even earlier, that his Trichy rally was also under the scanner. I mean, at that time, Shweta, a 20-minute ride from the airport, to where the rally was supposed to be in Trichy, it became a 6-hour traffic jam. I mean, that's people were surging towards his car, and he just could not. And what did he do at Karur? He arrived 6 hours late. So by the time there were 10 people, 10 became 100. And that's what happened. And you know how the crowds are. I mean, the crowds are that he's here, his car has been cited, so on and so forth. So the point is that no lessons were learned from his Trichy rally disaster. That was a mini disaster, and this resulted in a gigantic disaster, as it were, Karur, because there, in Karur, I beg your pardon, because at that time also, like I said, a lot of people had gathered from in and around, Trichy. They had come with water, which got over, food. They had climbed onto trees. A lot of people were complaining of fainting. And what happens in Karur? The same situation. TVK Kader faints. TVK Kader people try to form a human chain but fail miserably. And the point of the matter is, when they decided that if there is going to be 10,000 and that became maybe a lakh or 30, whatever, we'll get the right numbers maybe tomorrow morning. But the point of the matter is, what were the organizers doing? And so far as Vijay is concerned, for him to hop onto a private jet and then fly off to Chennai, like I said, is really very, very bad optics, Shweta.
Bad optics, hiring a chartered plane, flying off at this point is not looking very good for Vijay. On your screens right now is the Chief Minister Stalin, who is going to be conducting an emergency meeting of the cabinet or in the secretariat to take a stock of the situation. It is a national tragedy of great proportions that has unfolded in Tamil Nadu. About 40 people are dead in that TVK rally. TVK chief, we are given to understand, has left the venue. He is going to be moving to Chennai. The administration is acting swiftly. It has ensured reinforcements by the way of doctors, hospital beds. Doctors, in fact, have been called in from different nearby areas of Karur. More than 24 doctors have been asked to come in and pressed into action. The administration has pressed into action. Education, Health Department, their ministers are all at the venue. Perhaps Chief Minister is also going to be at the venue. We're given to understand by the virtue of our sources that Chief Minister will also be visiting Karur. Final details of which are still awaited. We'll try and get more reactions from ground. My colleague Thoya Jakshi and Gautam continue to track all the details. We'll try and get either of them very, very shortly. My colleague Sudha continues to be with me. Satya Prakash, KPCC spokesperson, is also with us. It's too early right now to a proper blame, to know where it lies, to know who was responsible. But I think it would be fair to say, Satya Prakash, that this is a collective failure. It's a failure of the machinery, the state machinery, and it's also a failure of the organizers. It would be a long-drawn process before we arrive at who is finally responsible for it. But on the face of it, sir, it looks like there were not enough policemen, there was not enough arrangement, the organizers failed, and the police also failed to ensure that enough and more personnel were on ground to contain the crowd.
Swetaji, I am staying nearly 350 to 400 kilometers away from Karur, so I cannot make a comment on that. The best people to make a comment is that are the district administration and the state government. So it will be very difficult for me to find fault at this. At this point of time, what we can do is, right now, we have to look at, the state government should give all possible help to those who are in the hospitals. Like Kovai Satyan said, if people are thronging to the local private hospitals, government should, I urge upon, Stalin or Chief Minister and the Health Minister to instruct the private health officers, hospitals to take them in. We will look after the billing later. To take them in at the right time, give them all necessary medical help that is required. Because in these emergencies, the first hour is a golden hour. We should not lose any more people. Is all I am saying. Because hardly these people are common people, hand-to-mouth situation people. They are farmers, laborers, workers, small traders. Their lives should not be put at risk. And as far as possible, those 30 or 40 people, we need to try to save all of them. Is what I'm saying. Next, we will go to the next step. We let this casualty be. Let us come out of this casualty. Then tomorrow, day after, there is always tomorrow. We can sit down, find what are the reasons, and another Karur should not happen. Like what has happened in Bangalore after the Stampede, the government went to, they went into, made lot of meetings, and a law was passed in the assembly how to, have standard operating procedures for crowd management. And now, see, problem is the district administration should have the final word as far as these sort of events are there. If the district administration, the SP, the district commissioner there, the collector says no, it means no. And if they want some still hold this, they have to hold it at the right place with correct exits in place. Without exits, right exits, without standard operating procedures in place, if 50, 60,000 people are there, at least there should be some 5 to 10 ambulances. And we should see how far the hospitals are there. In case of an emergency, how soon can we take them in? If some stampede happens, are there some 10 or 20 or 30 doctors there, 10 doctors?
I mean, that's a
Whose
fair point.
responsibility is this?
That's a fair point, Satyaprakash. So I think that's a fair point. It's a relatively small area. Karur is a relatively rural area. To get doctors there will take time, and essentially nobody could have predicted a tragedy of this nature. You're right that there should have been enough and more ambulances and first aid in the first place, knowing that such a rally were to be conducted. But at the same time, the number of hospitals, the beds, the doctors deployed in Karur are obviously far less than perhaps a Chennai. So one will need reinforcements to come in.
Absolutely. And also, what one is hearing and picking up is that, like I said earlier, that the venue was changed from what it was supposed to be earlier to this particular place, because they saw to it that the earlier area was really cramped, and they decided to give this area. But then, on the ground, they saw the crowd swelling, a lot of reasons. Vijay arrived 6 hours late, also not enough hands on the ground to help. So the point of the matter is that when and we keep saying that Karur is not as huge as, let us say, Trichy, or it's not as huge as, let us say, Kanchipuram, where rallies take place. But the point is that if it is such a constrained place where you do not have, then the basic thing that you have to follow is follow certain procedures.
Right.
Did Vijay follow them?
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I don't think so. It started with that, Shweta. We have to see. Yes, doctors can only do that much. The stampede has happened. You see, it's after the tragedy we can say not enough doctors. But why did the tragedy occur in the first place? That is the question we all should be asking, Shweta.
All right. Were there no lessons learned? I think that's the question that we're also asking. So that were there no lessons learned, from the previous rally, from the rally in Trichy for that matter, which is where rallies happen. We know that the crowd swelled up. We know that enough and more restrictions were put in place. And despite that, here we are, a couple of days later, another rally and a massive tragedy unfolding. Thoya Jakshi joining me with more details. Thoya, what's the latest we're picking up?
Well, Shweta, the latest that we are picking up right now is Stalin as the Secretariat holding an emergency meeting with the ministers, where after the emergency meeting, he will be heading towards Karur, where towards the stampede spot where the accident took place. He was supposed to go tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., but unfortunately, he is going right now, like after finishing an emergency meet at the Secretariat. He will be moving to Karur via a private jet to Tirchi, and from Tirchi he will be taking a chopper and he will be going towards Karur, Shweta. That's the latest that we are getting over here.
All right. So the Chief Minister there is also going to be in Karur. That's the latest we're picking up. But as far as Vijay is concerned, Thoya Jakshi, you're also bringing us the details of the fact that he has left Karur. He is going to be reaching Chennai very, very shortly via a private jet. More troubles for him. FIR could be registered against him soon.
Yes, Shweta, this is also a thing that the moment the stampede-like situation created in Karur, Vijay didn't even respond to the reporters at Karur. He immediately started to Tirchi, and from Tirchi he is going to take a private chartered flight, and he will be heading towards Chennai, and he will be coming out from gate number 6 at Chennai International Airport. And also there are chances that then FIR going to be filed against Vijay, and also there are chances he's likely to be get arrested as well, Shweta.
All right, the chances he's likely to be arrested. That's major. That's breaking there on our show. At this hour, there are chances that TVK Chief Vijay could be arrested and FIR will be filed against him. That's what we're picking up as far as that massive tragedy is concerned. Thoya Jakshi, do you have a number of how many people are dead and how many people are injured, are in hospital? Do you have a final number for us?
Shweta, currently that we are picking up over here is we are getting around 40 deaths toll, that is an increase to 40. And like I clearly mentioned, 50 people are, admitted in the hospital who are currently taking treatment at Karur Government Hospital. There are, chances that the death toll might increase, overnight. It might also go up to 60. That's what the sources that we are getting in, Shweta.
That's extremely unfortunate. Death toll likely to go up to 60. Toya Jakshi telling us that's the latest coming in as to number of people who are admitted could potentially be serious, resulting in more loss of life going forward. So the extremely disturbing details there, of course, coming to light from that tragedy. Number of deaths could go up. Number of people who are injured is already high. Those who are serious is also high, which essentially means that going into the night, the tragedy could become bigger. But as far as Vijay is concerned, his political legacy started perhaps with that blot of Stampede now.
Absolutely. And now superstar Rajnikant has also tweeted about it, saying, the news of the loss of innocent lives in the incident that occurred in Karur shakes the heart and causes immense grief. My deepest condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. Comfort to those who were injured. And I'm quoting his tweet because I remember when there was talk about whether he will join politics or not, and we know that how there was a lot of toing and froing so far as him joining politics. At one stage he had said, if I go and do rallies, I know that it'll inconvenience the common people in a major way. And it's not going to bode well for people who live in those areas. And I think today I think of superstar Rajnikant because, he was so, he had perhaps a premonition of what happens when superstars actually, go and do rallies. And that's not to say that Tamil Nadu has not had superstars. We've had MGR, we had Jayalalitha, who were very, very famous, of course, actors before they became politicians. We had Vijay Kant. But the times that were different at that time. This is a different time. This is the time that we live in, the social media age, where everybody has access to actors, and a little child wants to see him, and even an 80-year-old wants to see him. And that is because of who he is. So it's more like what they say in social media jargon, a FOMO moment. That if you are there, how come I'm not there? So we all have to surge forward. And it's, there were a lot of videos being put at on social media handles about the crowds in Namakkal and in Trichy. And I think that was one of the triggers that, okay, if the actor is coming to our place, that is Karur, why not we go there? Going to be a very long night, going to be very tough. And I think we all need to pray for those who are injured and those who are struggling in ICU. A very, very long and, arduous night for the medical workers, Shweta.
Absolutely. Long and arduous night for medical workers, many of whom are coming in from different parts of Tamil Nadu to be in Karur. They've been called into Karur. In fact, more news coming in with regards to that incident. The Deputy Chief Minister, Udayanadi Stalin, who is in Dubai, is also travelling back immediately. He will be travelling to Karur tomorrow morning itself. So Deputy Chief Minister will be going to Karur tomorrow morning as he returns from Dubai. He is coming back. He's been called back, pressed into action. The entire administration there working on a war footing. So far what we know is 40 people have died. More than 50 people are in hospital. This is the estimate coming from the government hospital. The private hospital estimate is not out just as yet. Karur, where a massive crowd at actor Vijay's rally has led to a stampede-like situation resulting in death of at least 29 people, including 3 children. Around 30 people are currently admitted in the ICU at the Karur Government Hospital, with several others reportedly having fainted due to overcrowding have also been moved to various other hospitals. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has personally intervened, directing the district collector to ensure immediate and intensive medical care for all affected. He has also instructed the health and school education ministers to visit the site and provide full support on a war footing. The Chief Minister is in touch with the ADGP to closely monitor the situation and restore order. The police have now also resorted to baton charging to disperse the crowd, stabilize the area and the situation. Former Minister, DMK leader V. Senthilbalaji and Minister Anbil Mahesh have also been tasked to coordinate the relief and medical efforts alongside the district administration. The Chief Minister has urged the public to cooperate with medical teams and law enforcement as the situation continues to unfold. Authorities had earlier advised against bringing pregnant women, children, elderly, differently abled persons to the rally, highlighting the concerns of overcrowding in these places. In an earlier rally of the TVK, we're given to understand, despite that previous order, children were brought in, resulting in death of at least 3 kids. On your screens right now, the tweet made out by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. My colleague Thoya Jakshi is tracking that situation, joining us with more details. Thoya Jakshi, can we now confirm that 30 people have died, and what's the situation right now in Karur?
Well, Shweta, first let me tell you what exactly happened. Vijay, the TDP leader, Tamil Nadu met with the public and a campaign meeting today, which happened in Namakkal and Karur districts, where today, even before Vijay's arrival, a large number of party workers and general public had been waiting for several hours, to have a glimpse of Vijay. While Tamil Nadu leader Vijay was addressing the crowd, more than 20 people suddenly fainted due to overcrowding, causing a major commotion where one person fainted right near Vijay's campaign vehicle, and Vijay immediately handed over the water bottle from his vehicle to assist, where similarly many others who were caught in the crowd also fainted, one after another, promoting ambulances being called, and large number of in large number of area where medical treatment is currently being provided to everyone who's affected. And let me also tell you that 30 people have lost their life in this stampede, and more than 20 people are currently in a very critical situation in the ICU at the Karur government hospital, where on the other hand, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's order, to move the medical health Minister Mas Subramaniam and also Education Minister Anbil Mahesh to Karur, and also tomorrow Chief Minister will be visiting Karur to that spot where the stampede situation has happened right now. ADGP is also taking this law and order under control, and the entire situation under control right now, where you can also see that ex-minister Senthilbalaji, who's currently in Karur, taking care of the situation at the hospital, and overall, additionally, announcements were also being made through the loudspeakers about missing children in the crowd, where Vijay himself is making an announcement of a 9-year-old girl missing in the crowd, and where he's asking them to find her back. And overall, the situation in the area has turned out to be a huge, chaotic, after several people suddenly fainted during Vijay's campaign at Karur, Shweta.
All right, Thoya Jakshi, thank you very much. Please stay with us. My colleague Sudha Sadanand also joining us on the show right now. Sudha, very unfortunate news coming in from Tamil Nadu this evening. 30 people have died. You were bringing to us how there was a previous instruction in the earlier TVK rally as to not bring children. But despite that, we now know at least 3 kids have died.
Shweta, it's a huge tragedy, and it is not the time for us, considering because we are very sensitive to people as a channel, to apportion blame. But, one thing was that Vijay does all his rallies on Saturdays. Became a bit of a joke everywhere, but then this is not the time to laugh or smile. Saturdays is because more and more people can come, okay? Because offices are shut, schools are shut, people can easily come and spend time. I used to, not just me, but many people felt that, which means that he's already a star, that people want to touch and feel him. And on top of that, on a Saturday, this was inviting a disaster. Also, on the number 2 thing, like you mentioned, during his Trichy rally, when 23 conditions were put, one of them clearly was do not bring children, pregnant women, or those who are specially abled. Do not do that. Also, we need ambulances on the site and also initial medical help. We also need lots of water and other amenities so that the crowds are not, inconvenienced. All this was put. There was a big kind of a political slugfest that how come the conditions are only put for us and not for the others, because let's not forget that even EPS, that is Yedapadi Palaniswamy, is doing rallies after rallies, and Stalin has also done rallies. But like I said, tragedies happen, Shweta. But this particular tragedy is really something which is very sad. I was watching a lot of it on Twitter, and I saw how the hospital, the Karur Medical College hospital, is in a shambles, in the sense they are doing their best to do it, but I wonder if they were even ready for such an emergency. A great tragedy indeed, and one of the main reasons is he's a star, he's an actor, and he's a very popular actor, so people wanted to come there in hordes. Most of them, like, I'm sorry I'm quoting Kamala Hassan here, even experts say, will the audiences convert into votes?
So stay with us. We also have Jagdishwaran, spokesperson TVK, joining us on the show. Jagdishwaran, what can you tell us what really happened? They were given to understand there was ample overcrowding resulting in people, collapsing, and that resulted in chaos and ensuing stampede, which has now killed 30 people.
First of all, I'm not the spokesperson of TVK. I'm just the political analyst. I left TVK and I'm out of TVK. This is a great tragedy, and TVK should have avoided this. I mean, there is complete mismanagement from TVK side. This is called political mismanagement. This is called political inexperience. TVK is not ready for such a large meeting because they don't have anybody who is experienced in their camps. See, this guy, Vijay, was supposed to be at Namakkal 8:45 a.m. this morning, but he's starting from Chennai after 8:45 a.m., which means he wants people to wait for him. And the Karur meeting was supposed to happen at 12 o'clock. This guy comes at 8 o'clock. So what is he thinking? I mean, this guy, if he wants to be an actor, let him be an actor. If he wants to be a political leader, he needs to learn some responsibility, first of all. This guy is not responsible. There is no even an iota of responsibility from Vijay. This guy is general secretary. He doesn't have any political experience. They don't know how to politically manage a crowd. They want this crowd to come. They want this. I mean, they were looking for a stampede to happen. All these guys should be arrested, first of all, by the Tamil Nadu government. And they should be put in jail, including Mr. Vijay, Mr. Busi Anand, Mr. Adhavarjuna, Mr. John Auragiswamy. All these idiots should be arrested. They should be put in jail. 29 lives. It's not very easy. There are children. This stampede is happening and this guy is talking in mics going on. I mean, this guy, even after knowing there are 5, 6, deaths, he's continuing his talks. How irresponsible can a political leader be?
All right.
I mean, this kind of tragedies never have. I mean, it's been a long time this tragedies happen. Even on the air show, 5 people lost their lives. And we were all very angry.
You were a part of TVK. You were saying you were earlier a part of TVK.
No, I'm not.
You were never a part of TVK?
I was part of TVK.
You were a part of TVK earlier. I understand that.
Yeah.
Are you saying that this was long time coming?
Yes, of course, yes. These guys, they all, see, even Trichy, when the first campaign started, why was there a road show? These guys, they cry about all the, I mean, whenever there is a rule put out for TVK, this guy starts crying, but nothing is followed. Not even one rule is followed. They say we got 20 rules. Police is, Mr. Stalin personally is asking the police to put 20 rules, 25 rules. But have you followed even one single rule? Police said no road shows. He's continuing road shows. He's saying don't drag the, don't drag the crowd. He's dragging the crowd. They're saying don't bring children. He's doing it again. Even court said be responsible, Mr. Vijay, and he is never responsible. Why was he waiting? I mean, when you are supposed to be at Namakkal 8:45 in this morning, why are you starting in from Chennai? What were you doing yesterday night? I don't understand.
Okay.
It was supposed to be Namakkal 8:45 a.m.
All right, you're leveling very serious allegations. You're saying TVK never really followed any of those rules that were put in place. In fact, breaking news coming in on the show. Mr. Jagdishwar, and this is for your understanding as well. It is now given to understand that cops have accused TVK of flouting rules as 30 people have died. We now know TVK ignored safety conditions and protocols. That's what police is saying at the moment. Cops have accused TVK that the number of people who were invited and the number of people who joined the rally far exceeded the number of people who were expected to be there. The permission was sought only for 10,000 people, but the crowds far exceeded the estimated figure, and that is perhaps what resulted in overcrowding. I'm given to understand Sudha Sadanand continues to be with us. My colleague Thuya Jakshi is tracking all those details. Vajjiullah is also joining us live on the show. Vajji, what's the latest you're picking from Karur? 30 is the number that we have at the moment, but many people are also in ICU.
Well, absolutely worrying news coming from Karur, this rally where, as we speak, we've got to know that 30 people have passed away, but the numbers could rise, as you mentioned, a lot of them at ICU, a lot of critical situation, and the rally itself has turned out to be a bloodbath somewhere or the other because of the number of people present there. And as you just mentioned a few seconds back about this was been information that we have, there are allegations that in the permission sought by Vijay, there was mentioned that close to 10,000 people would be expected, but lakhs and lakhs of people have reached the venue. And as we've always seen with Vijay's rally, especially Shweta, the numbers have been high, and Vijay himself has been very proud about those numbers that have been turning up at his crowd. There are a lot of numerous videos of Vijay alone shooting from his selfie cameras and showing the crowd that is turning up to his rallies somewhere or the other, trying to emphasize the political power or the mass pull that he already has, keeping in mind that he's also one of the top actors at that place. And now at this particular rally, a political rally where from where he also took a dig at AIDMK, and this particular area, a lot of people had gathered there, and now the police have also alleged that there were a lot of the arrangements were not done in the right way. A lot of places where the crowds were not expected, people started pouring in, and especially when it comes to Vijay, he's otherwise a massive star in Chennai. He has one of the biggest fan followings in the state, and that is the reason
And
why he also jumped.
that fan following resulting in more people turning up, Vijay, as you can see on our screens. We're given to understand
Absolutely,
permission
absolutely.
was given for 10,000 people. Many more people turned in, but breaking news coming in on the show. The death toll has now risen to 31. For the benefit of our viewers who are joining at this point in time, let's quickly apprise them of what's unfolded there in the TVK rally. We're given to understand 31 people have died as a result of stampede-like situation in Karur. 24 doctors from Tiruchu and 20 doctors from Salem have been mobilized to Karur. 50 people are under treatment. 29 people were brought dead. That's what the health ministry is saying at the moment. Sudha Sadanand continues to be with us. Thoya Jakshi is also joining us. Before I come to you, Sudha, Thoya, run us through the latest that's coming from hospitals right now.
Well, Shweta, like the death toll has been increased to 31, where around 16 women, and out of 30, around 16 are women and 6 are children. Six children who are not even having the right to vote. I can also tell you that now the situation has gone really out of hand, has gone really worsened, where the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin will be visiting Karur tomorrow to see the situation, to make sure to visit the spot where the incident has happened. Where now that Health Minister Mas Subramaniam is on his way to Karur to see, to take care of the situation, and already ex-minister Senthilbalaji is already doing the rescue over there at the Karur Government Hospital, Shweta. But you can also see in the visuals, the crowd, the overcrowd, which is piling up even before Vijay even arrived at the venue, from Namakkal to Karur, even before he arrived at the venue, you can see the large number of
All right.
crowd is, is been piling up. And also, I
So
want to inform.
I'll come to you with more details. I'll come to you shortly. Kalyan Raman, senior leader, BJP, Tamil Nadu, also joining us on the phone. Kalyan Raman, what's the latest? You can tell us what's happening on ground. Extremely unfortunate incident coming to light this evening. 31 people have died in Karur in that TVK rally.
It is very, very, very sad that we can't even imagine or comprehend such things could happen. We have had the illicit liquor death of 70 people, but this is something unbearable, unimaginable for our mind. The state has got a huge force of intelligence operatives, numbering about 16,000 people. So the government should have been the responsible for law and order mechanism. They should have predicted the crowd to converge, and they should have taken adequate measures. Apparently, the law and order mechanism has also equally failed. Of course, there is a huge gathering, so the onus of responsibility does not lie with the person who is going to address the gathering, but more with the law and order mechanism. So here the state law and order mechanism is to be blamed, along with the intelligence. This is my opinion. It is very sad. What else can we say? I am finding it difficult to even answer. I fumble for the answer.
All right. So it's a moment of tragedy. We'll try and get you back later on the show. Let me quickly get in Sudha Sadanand, who is and continues to be with us. Sudha, you're hearing the latest that is emerging from that rally. The death toll has now risen. Politics, of course, has started. We also had a former TVK person joining us on the show earlier, suggesting that this was in making for a while. Given, Vijay's status, the number of people who turn up always are far higher than the permission given.
Absolutely. Like I started this conversation by saying that how, when the conditions were imposed, they were imposed, on the one hand, we can say, what was the state's intelligence doing? Absolutely pertinent. But then the state decided, Tamil Nadu government decided, and particularly Madras High Court, the Honorable Court said, let's put conditions, because they are very well aware that he's not the run-of-the-mill politician. He's a star. He still is a star. He's not transformed as yet into a dyed-in-the-wool politician. So people will come to watch him, to touch and feel. And Shweta, since morning, I've been seeing a lot of videos on social media where women are there dancing, children are dancing, a lot of people creating their atmosphere. So what really happens is that then a word of mouth, we live in the era of social media, and that goes viral, and everyone is like, why am I not there? The weather also was not kind at all. The breathlessness, the crowds surging, people falling over each other, and then an asphyxiation. I'm not a doctor, but then stampedes usually happen also because of asphyxiation. So that's one of the reasons this is really, it's going to come back to haunt Vijay for a very, very long time. Of course, politics will start over it, Shweta, like you rightly said. It's going to be, tit for tat, that I was ready, but were you? But then I think Vijay needs to take onus, because the point is that the kind of pre-rally frenzy which was created all over, that made people come and, kind of join the melee. And it resulted in this very, very unfortunate. I'm sure the Karur Government Medical College is doing all it can, to do it. And with more medical hands, like you said, hands on deck, I think they are going to have, it's going to be a very, very long night.
It's going to be a very long night. As to where the responsibility lies, so I think that's going to be the next conversation from here on. We're hearing the BJP leaders say that it was state's responsibility, law and order is their problem, and that was the question we were asking Karnataka during Bengaluru Stampede, as to where was the state intelligence machinery. Did you not anticipate the crowd to swell up to the point that it did, that people died of asphyxiation, overcrowding, because the permission was only given for 10,000 people, but at the same time, Vijay's responsibility as well.
Shweta, two tragedies are same, but they are also very different. But the point is that the RCB also, the trigger was the tweet. The tweet which was put out to say, hey, everyone come. And RCB had to be honest. The court said it, eventually, where they said that you cannot be responsible and put out a tweet without proper arrangements being made on the ground. A very similar situation has ensued in Karur. He was late. Now, the thing is, let me tell you, I've covered a lot of rallies.
Sorry to butt in. The death toll has now risen to 40. 40 people have died in that rally, the TVK rally that was expected to take place early in the afternoon, was late by the evening. 40 people are now feared dead. So the more unfortunate news, of course, coming in as we count the numbers, as we count the body bags, only increasing from here on.
Absolutely. And, the most unfortunate part is kids are part of the death toll. Not that adults can die. Every death has to be mourned. But I think the children, and like I said, the children came there because it's a weekend, and Vijay does all these rallies over weekends. And it was noticed. It was noticed by our channel. It was noticed by others as well, that Saturday seems to be, a cocktail of disaster, because you'll get more crowds. But where is the law and order in this? Can the police even, someone should maybe ask Josh Tangaya, who's the super cop at Karur, as to what really happened. 10,000, and what I'm hearing, a lakh plus. Can you imagine that, how all the roads are completely congested? Right. All the roads are being, every alley is being, is full of people. They do not know whether they are coming or going. They just want to see the star rise up and say hello to them. So this is what happened.
And this is what transpired, which you can see on your screens at the moment, the Stampede-like situation at TVK Chief Vijay's rally resulted in death of 40 people. We are given to understand there was overcrowding. More than 1 lakh people turned up. Permission was only sought for 10,000 people. Lots of people turned up for the fear of missing out, seeing their favorite leader and actor Vijay. That Stampede now has completely marred Vijay, will haunt him for a very long time. Vajji also with us on the show. Vajji, the death toll now rising to 40. More medical support has also been rushed into Karur.
Absolutely, 40 people is a very large number, and with the expectation of the numbers rising, it is clearly signs that we are going to expect to listen to more bad news in the coming few hours. Because, like Sudha mentioned, that we have seen situation like this in the RCB rally, but this is bigger. This is 40,000 people at a rally where lakhs of people had turned up for Vijay. It's no more. I feel it's no more stampede like it is a stampede, because the death toll is rising as we speak, and like we mentioned, this is going to haunt Vijay because he was also late to the rally. There were a lot of people gathering, and that is the importance of being on time also, because you don't expect a lot of people to be there, but you keep waiting. A lot of people turn up, and it's those tweets, it's those messages that motivate people to leave their houses and start marching towards the venue, and that is what happened here. Also, a lot of people gathered, and especially in the night, you get good visuals of the light with people flashing or this thing. That is the way how politicians are also trying to project power nowadays, with mass people turning up at their rallies. Therefore, what we are seeing right now is horrific scenes, sad scenes of 40 people dead at the rally of Vijay. This is surely going to haunt him for a long time. This is going to be a big political setback to him. How he comes out of this, what all is going to happen after that, how is the state going to react? Because you are already seeing allegations being leveled of how preparations were not done, how permissions for were sorted for 10,000 people, but